There we are. Welcome to Wednesday Wisdom, everyone.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Elizabeth Rose, and we have Sarah Harnisch on today as our guest. And Sarah, I just want to share a quick testimony about your character and just your love for building true relationships, because you were in San Antonio 2 weeks ago, I guess it is now, and we got to get together for breakfast, and it was just such a blessing to really share life together. And so even though we're cross-line leaders in Young Living, we actually met on the gold trip when we both made the rank of gold several years ago and met river rafting. So maybe you can share any little fun things about that trip if you want to. But thank you so much for just being willing to come on today and talk about your book, Unstuck, because I know it's going to be a blessing for so many folks that are looking to just progress their journey in Young Living and in leadership. One final thing I'll say is, and Sarah, you're a diamond with Young Living, soon to be crown diamond.
Very close. Very close.
So close. Okay, now I can see your face. So awesome. How would you like to go ahead and get started today?
I would absolutely love that. And I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth Rose, because she's one of my crossline besties. I just absolutely love this woman. And yeah, we were thrown in a raft together, whitewater rafting, and came down the rapids, got shot in the face by some corporate people that they put water guns in their hands and aimed them at us as we were coming down the rapids. Not cool, not cool, but it's okay. We got back with buckets of water, and we've been fast friends ever since. So she's just such a gift to me. And I didn't know anything about Elizabeth when I met her. I didn't know that she was part of the Seacrest family of builders. And her mama actually blessed me at Gold Retreat by praying over everybody, and then went to the back of the room and formed a circle and said, anybody else who wants to pray, come over here. And I'm like, you have my heart forever and my respect that you'll pray over your business in that way. So we're going to do some praying today. And I just, what an honor to get to speak for friends. Can I just tell you that? Like I get to speak all over the place, but to be able to do it for people that we just deeply love. And I mean, this family has poured into me. They were part of my growth. I've read all of Terry's books. I love, absolutely adore her, and her love for the Lord just means so much to me. So it was one of the catapults for me to be able to get to Diamond. So to be able to just say thank you in a really small way means a lot to me. So I am a blue personality. If you're familiar with the color personalities, we just love people and love friendships. I think I'm going to make about 40 friends today. And I love interaction. I don't like just sitting here just chit chatting. I love talking back and forth. So I want to utilize the chat option. The more you say, the happier I get. And if I say something that really hits you in the gut, go ahead and type it out, take a note, respond to it in the chat window. I also love giving things away. So I'm going to do a lot of giveaways on the call. And if it's okay, Elizabeth, I'll either send it to you or to your assistant or to your mama and let you handle dispersing what I give away today, if that's all right with you. But so the more you talk, the happier I get. And Tracy, all right, let's see if I get her name right. Carestia. Did I get it close?
It's Caristia. Someone cares about you, Tia. There you go.
You're the first one to talk to me, so I'm going to give you my new book. Oh, you know, Cheryl Jones actually got something in first. All right, so both of you guys get my new book. So we're training on Unstuck today, but I actually just wrote another book that's brand new, like brand new. We haven't done boot camp or anything on it. I started off the pandemic just praying over all of our teams and what tool would be a gift to get everybody ignited coming out of the pandemic. And so John and I prayed and fasted for about 9 months. And finally in October, the end of October, I got the go ahead to write the Game Plan Oils script book from the Lord. So sat down over 7 weeks, and basically it's 25 oils classes in one book. So we did with Game Plan, which you guys probably know me for that. That's my most famous book, but we took everything business and put it in one spot. So comp plan training, you know, strategy, all of it, no's, rejection, distraction, excuses, all that's just in one spot. A little mindset training. So with this one, I wanted to give you guys something where you got excited like the first day you got your kit, right? When you sat down, you remember what you felt when you sat in your first oils class and you're like, I'm kind of interested in this. This is pretty neat. And then you ordered your kit and it showed up and you're like, oh my gosh, I have so many things to learn. I'm really excited. And you're just playing and like a little puppy dog, just kind of piddling all over the floor. You're just talking to everybody that you see about oils. I wanted to capture that feeling and put it into a book for you guys. And so that's how the script book was born. So it's 25 classes, and this is what I'm going to be giving away while we're doing our training today. So and a lot of these are brand new. I had to write them from the ground up to be able to put the book together. So it's oils and thieves and Ningxia. These are full, like hour-long classes. CBD, kids class, fearless, oils the Bible, raindrop, and that entire class was vetted by the care school. So Anthony Stewart, the director, went through and went line by line to make sure we were accurate in everything we were teaching. Feelings class, gut health. I believe really strongly in gut health, that you can't use oils to band-aid a lifestyle decision, that it's got to be a holistic approach to health. And so I put a gut health class in the middle of an oils book. And then 4 most important young living supplements, enzymes, Bloom Art and Savvy, the skin class, hair class, tooth class, hormones and oils, animal aromatherapy, massage for couples, intro to diffusers, seedlings, the manly man class, so top oily products for dudes. We interviewed 70,000 men to put that class together. The techniques class, so neuroauricular, ear technique, valor balancing, how to make your own blends, a whole blending class without aroma chemistry in it. And then einkorn, and I gave you all my family recipes with einkorns, cinnamon rolls, and then the last class is a tribute to Gary Young, because I feel like we're losing him, and I want everybody to go out there and start teaching about him so we can keep him at the heart of young living. We understand really what seed to seal means. And then there's protocols. So you can run a protocol with your team: cleansing, sleep, weight loss, emotional release, energy, brain, Gary's great day, grief, internal oils. There's a colds and flu bonus class and a teacher training, and then keeping Christ as your center in a crazy world. So that's a script book. And I'm going to give a little bundle away to the first people that wrote to me, because it makes my blues super happy. Oh, you all wrote. Now I just want to give something to everybody. But Cheryl and Tracy, I called Tracy's name out first. So I'm going to give you guys a book and a workbook. The workbook, look at this thing. It's a beast. It's huge. But yeah, this one is crazy. So we took every single script and I wanted you guys to play with the script. So it opens with coloring sheets of all the oils that are in that class that you're studying. And then there's key points from the class. There are bonus training that's rare, like hard stuff to find, Gary's old notes, old lectures from the 1990s, rare stories from the diamonds. Like, it's just amazing. Apply it sections that tell you exactly how to use the oils and give you action steps. DIYs. This one's got a little DIY with my grandkids in it, and different things that you can read, diffuser recipes. There's affirmations for the class, journaling, and then we play a little hangman game where if you do all 25 classes, you actually unlock a class from a book I haven't written yet, a Candida class with oils that I'm kind of excited about. So this is the workbook that goes with the book. It's intense. And that punk workbook actually beat my book on Amazon for a couple of days. So I was like, wait a second, they like crafting and horsing around more than they like actually learning the scripts and like teaching the knowledge. But and then we took all of that, this is per your guys' request, and made a teacher's edition of it. So it's the whole book, but it goes in a binder. So you can pull out one class at a time. And each class opens with stories of Gary Young from the Diamond. So I kind of collected some of their stories. It's a larger font. It lies flat. And you can pull out just the pages that you need and teach off of them. So I'll give away a couple of these as well. The dividers are gorgeous. I love it. You can see exactly what the classes are. So this one's the 116 hormones and oils class. And then on the back, we've got stories of Gary Young. This one's from Donna Grace. They're all diamond stories that I collected. And then the last thing that I did is I made a mini on it as well. So you can use the book to market yourself when you're in classes. So if you have, you're teaching a class and somebody shows up to one class and they don't come to other classes you're teaching, now you, in that little window where you see them in the first class, they can get a whole overview of everything that you can teach, because all 25 classes are in the same book. So we give them key points. Most people walk out with like 1 to 3 pieces of information. We're going to give them 10 plus pieces of information about the class that I want them to remember. A heart message, like the why behind the training. Why do you not want fluoride in your toothpaste? You know, when we're doing the tooth class, just kind of going through some of those issues that really are just tug on their heartstrings and hit them on a spiritual level. And it's just me sitting down with them saying, this is why this topic matters so much and why we need to start, kicking some of the stuff out of your house. Then I give them a short ordering list and item numbers, and then some action steps and exactly what to do once they get home. So it's pretty tightly written. It's a little tiny, not 700 pages, but it's designed just to show off what you can do. So it's a tool to market you in the classes that you have. So for our first, I'm going to give away a sample of all 4 of them. So to who are my first 2 winners? I'm scrolling up. You guys wrote a ton. I love this. Oh, you're so interactive. You're making me happy. So Cheryl and Tracy, I'm going to give you one of each of them. So a teacher's edition, an oil edition, and the workbook, and then also the mini as well. So I love you guys. Oh, there's so many amazing comments here. My Blue wants to read every single one of them, but I suppose I should start teaching on Unstuck. So this is the book we're going to train on today. This is Game Plan's sister book. I wrote Game Plan first, and all glory to the Lord. He's just amazing. He took that book and just did some crazy things with it, and hit #1 on Amazon. We held #1 for 10 months on Amazon on the business charts, which is nuts. Then we released Unstuck. So I went on tour, and what I found when I was out on tour was it didn't really matter where I went, whether I was Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Mexico. The people in line said the exact same thing. Sarah, I understand what I need to do to build my business, but I can't get people to come to class. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but they're just not showing up, and I'm really frustrated. And I realized that the root of the issue is relationship building. Hey, whoever's not muted, can I ask you, maybe Carol, to mute your microphone just so that I am also ADHD and I want to listen to your dogs and all the cool things going on in the background, but then we wouldn't have a very good training session. So basically I sat down and I did about 8,000 interviews for this book, and everything from Star to Royal Crown Diamond, and just asked them, when you had a kit sale, what was it that you did? Walk me through the action steps of what you did, and then compiled that data and put it in a really digestible form on the art of the relationship to help get you guys from sitting down and talking to people about oils to a kit sale and getting them on your team and getting them excited about oiling. So the script book gives you tools. It's just a tool, and you're going to take it and grow your organization however the Lord has you teaching and how you connect with people. Unstuck sits down and says, all right, if you're not seeing results getting people to class, let's take a look at exactly what you're doing. What are the action steps, that get that person in the class? So, all right. Now be sure to email me your mailing address when you get a gift. Please, everybody who wins something today, just shoot Beverly a message, because she's an amazing organizer. She's been such a gift to work with. And make sure that you're giving her some email love so that they can get stuff out to you. All right. So Greg says, for a senior star guy like me just getting started, this is amazingly motivational. That's awesome. Thank you. So many of you guys know my story. I got involved with Young Living 7 years ago now, which is crazy. I guess I'm starting to become a dinosaur in the company. Never did any network marketing in my life. I am a radio network news anchor. I've been anchoring news for 23 years. I love it. It's in my blood. I'm still anchoring news. Matter of fact, I'm in my bedroom right now, and I'm right next to my bathroom, and my radio studio is in my closet in my bathroom. It's like super high tech. It's really, really formal setup there. But nobody goes to the bathroom when I'm on the air, because then you'll hear toilet flushing when I'm talking to 5 million people, and that would be really embarrassing. So my daughter, her pipes for her bathroom are in my bathroom. So when she takes showers, I'm anchoring news, and you can hear all the water going off. I'm like, no, beating on the wall. Stop, I'm going live. But that's what I did by trade. And I've got 5 kids. When I started in my business, they were like 8 to 12, 14 years old. Now one's married with 3 kids, and I'm a lolly. I'm a grandma. And matter of fact, my grandkids are downstairs yelling and running around right now. I might need to mute my mic. And then I've got 2 kids getting married this year, one in October and then one next April. He's proposing next week. Super excited. And then I have 2 kids that are in high school. So it just goes super crazy fast. But we lived in the projects for 12 years after John and I got married. And so I kind of understand both sides, what it's like to have a lot, like Paul says, and what it's like to not have very much, and to learn to be content in both of those places. There's still days I wake up as a diamond and I look at my ceiling in my house and I'm like, is this even real? I have friends that are still in the projects. I still write them, back and forth. And so it's really hard to be on the other side of it and see that. What you want to do is you just want to take your hands and you want to reach down and grab every single person and just say, listen, you don't need to stay where you are. There's hope on the other side. You can get out of the places you are. You can have security. You can have that residual income to pass down to your babies and the people that you love. You just have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit and stop doing the things that you're used to, which might mean doing a follow-up call. It might mean talking to a stranger. It might mean reading a script in front of somebody and being scared because you're in front of people, even if it's one person or three people or four people. This is going to pull you out of your comfort zone a little bit. But I can tell you, standing on the other side of it, I would take every fear that I had, every knee knocking during a class. The thing that actually scares me more than anything else in the whole world, you guys are going to laugh at this. The thing that scares me more than anything else is standing on stage and talking to people. I would rather get stung by ground hornets than stand on a stage and talk to people. I'm not joking. I'm totally serious. And you might think, well, okay, I don't even believe that. You're a radio network news anchor. Radio people talk to walls. Okay. We don't look at people. We're in an empty room. I'm in my bathroom for 8 hours. All right. We don't have to stand on stage, look nice, and talk to people. So I've done, I think to date, 62 stage events in the last 3 years all over the world. And every single time I go on stage, before I go up, I puke my guts out. It does not matter how much digest I'm dumping in my belly button and what I'm swallowing. It's just nerves, it's just tension and nerves and stuff. And so it's still, even before San Antonio, Elizabeth, 2 weeks ago, threw up everywhere before I went out. So it's just, it's not something that comes naturally for me. But the neat thing is that when you're operating in that place where you're doing things that scare you, that's a place where God really gets to show off, because then you know that it's not about you and your gifts and the things you can do. It really, truly is about a great big God who just loves you so much. And he's using this as a training ground to take you to the next thing, right? So this is more comfortable for me. Doing a Zoom, I'm all right. I love you guys. We're sitting in our living room. We're all happy right now. You put me on a stage, Elizabeth, and you make me stand on stage, then you're going to better have the bathroom with some vomit in it, but I will get through it. So we're going to do some Unstuck training for the next 60 minutes here. I'm going to go as quickly through this as I can. This is the stage presentation of Unstuck. Beverly, would you mind enabling screen sharing? Because I'm going to actually going to open a PowerPoint here and just do some training with you guys so that you can see all the things.
Okay, great. They should be all squared away.
Yay. All right. Let me go back over to my Zoom here.
Sarah, such a great intro. I just love it. Super excited.
All
I'm
right.
so excited for the scripts book. I just can't, I can't even tell you.
Thank you. That means a lot. Well, I demoed it because I always want to make sure any tool that we generate is something that's really going to actually grow your business. I don't want it to be some rabbit trail we send you guys down. I want you guys to know, I still, even to this date, have never written a book for John and I to make money off of the book. I'm actually not very gifted at marketing. I can write a newscast in my sleep. That I'm very good at. And writing I enjoy, but talking about things and selling stuff is really not my forte. What I like doing is sitting on a couch with people and empowering them and training them on oils, or spreading the love of Jesus to them, or giving them hope. I love doing business training because I love giving people hope, because I know what it feels like to be a diamond, and not be in the projects. And so those are things that really mean a lot to me, but selling things is very hard. So I don't write the books to make a profit. We write it because I believe it's a good tool that's going to help you guys get to another rank. Because I believe very deeply that every person that wants to be a diamond should have a chance to do it, should have a chance to run for it. There isn't any person I've met yet where I've looked at them and said, there's no way that person could be a diamond. Never. And not one person that I've met. Because when you step back and you look out over the diamonds in Young Living, it's about 25% across the board. There's about 25% yellows, which are your servant-led people. There's about 25% of the diamonds are green and analytical and look at things through the view of numbers and science and data. There's about 25% that are those reds, those natural born leaders that are just driven and task oriented and get things crossed off their list. And then there are about 25% of us that are blue, that are flighty and love friends and love people. And so you might think, oh, well, only the blues can build to diamond, or only the people that are leaders can build to diamond. But there's an equal amount of people that are soft-spoken, gentle servants that are also diamond leaders as well. So that kind of debunks that theory that you have to have a certain personality to get there. And, if you're basing it on your bank account, I mean, we were in the projects, and we're able to go diamond. So, I mean, that's really not not a factor in going diamond. What is your fight and how bad you want it and how seriously you take the business. And if you're willing to do things that spook you a little bit, to get out there and get out of your comfort zone and do things that will grow an organization. And if you're willing, what I found is the people that are willing to do that are the ones that can grow to diamond and beyond. So it's really not a personality thing. It's not really about how many people you know. We're going to debunk that with Unstuck. That's the number one thing I hear in network marketing is I just don't know people. I don't know enough people to build to diamond. I don't know 4,000 people or whatever it takes to grow a diamond organization. I don't know that many people. We're going to rip all that apart today because I really want that to go in a box and go on a shelf and you to forget that and just move forward and do the action steps that grow your business. And God will bless that obedience. Like he will give you the platform you need to grow your organization. So that said, these are my 5 kids. Can you guys say, oh, look at them. So they're a little younger here, but Gabriel and Isaiah and Gracie and Benjamin and Noah. So I have 4 sons and a daughter, and now all of my sons are over 6 feet, except for Fuzz. Fuzz is 14 years old, so this picture's a little bit dated, but he just passed me in height. So he's now about this tall, but all of his brothers are like 6'3" or more. And I love my kids. And this is where we started. First 12 years in the projects. And then we bought our first home. It took us about 5 years to buy a home. And it was a 1,000 square foot house in Bath, New York. And we didn't have enough bedrooms for everybody, but there was a room off of our garage with no heat. So we put 3 of our kids in that room. So this is actually Grace's room, and this is Gabriel's room, and this is Isaiah's room. And they had bookcases for walls and sheets for doors. So, those of you that are just in a place of brokenness and you're feeling like, hey, I don't really have a lot to give. I'm coming from a place where I'm depleted. I'm depleted emotionally. I'm depleted relationally. I'm depleted with my family, and I don't have a lot to pour out. I understand that was the place I was at when I started building my business. And so we went from that to our diamond home. We actually just sold this house, and now we're in another diamond home down in Greenville, South Carolina, because I don't know, I just really like freedom. So kind of kicked the dust off my feet on New York State and went down to the land of the conservatives. But so we're living down in Greenville right now and saving to buy the home that we're in at the moment. But this is the house that we moved into after we hit diamond. And so in 2014, I got invited to an oils class, and I thought it was quackery. So I didn't actually get the kit. And it took my upline from January to May to get me just to come to a class. And then after I came, it was 7 weeks of messages, her writing me every single week saying, are you going to get the kit? You're going to get the kit. You're going to get the kit. Well, now I have a new system for that. Instead of harassing people and getting the kit, I just invite them to another class. I just say, hey, there's a deck that I designed, a little card deck that I hand out in classes called the Diamond Rising deck. And that just asks them what they want to learn, what they're interested in. And then I use that as a talking point to get them into the next class if they haven't joined my organization yet. So I say, hey, you checked that you wanted to learn about, seedlings and baby stuff. So I'm teaching a seedlings class. Girl, you want to come to that one? So then you're not harassing them. It doesn't feel like network marketing because you're just loving on them. Hey, this is something that you were interested in, and I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be teaching on that. So let's get together. I miss you. I want to see you. And I think that this is the answer that you're looking for. But my upline, she just kept calling me. Hey, Sarah, you're going to get the kit. Hey, Sarah, kit. She finally just wore me down, and I was like, yeah, I'll just do it if you just stop calling me. Please don't call me anymore. I'll get your starter kit. I don't even know what it does, but I will come. And so I opened the box, and I had a pretty good stomach bug and used peppermint and was hooked for life. Like, I looked at it and I was like, dude, if I can use this leaf instead of all these chemicals, this is a better choice for my family. And so it was instant, just like instant love when I saw the oils work. So God was pretty generous with me, and he gave me my wow moment like the first week that I had my kit, because Young Living was my way out of where I was, but I didn't know that at the time. All I knew was that I was in the middle of a major family emergency, the biggest emergency that our family had, raising our children. That's the place I was at when I got invited to my oils kit. And so we went from, this and the projects to this in 2 years and 5 months of building an organization. And I did it by teaching classes. Every single time I've ranked up, it's been because I was sharing oils every single time. We'll get to that in a little bit, but that's why I generated the script book, because I just want you to get excited about sharing again. And the nice thing is when they launch the website, guys, you can sign people up with anything. You can bring them in with a lip gloss. You can bring them in with seedlings wipes. You don't have to bring them in with a starter kit. So that book is so valuable because you find what their heart is focused on, and that's the place you teach from. That's the thing that you sit down and connect with them on. And you're not just selling them something, you are where they are, which is the saying that we have in the newsroom: be where they are, right? That listenability factor. What's the water cooler talk? What do they care about? That's the place that you put yourself in. And I just step back after all that time, living in the projects and where the Lord has taken us, and knowing that our kids have a willable income, that if something were to happen to John and I today, that they would be taken care of for life because of our diamond income. I can't put a price tag on what that feels like that peace that we have. Even during COVID, we were able to help 17 families leave New York State, and our home just kind of became this sanctuary, helping people that needed hope. And I step back and I'm like, there's no way we could have done that without our diamond income. God put these things in place for us during the storm so that we have them for the pandemic. There's other things coming that he is preparing you for. Tracy, I don't even know where you live, but I've decided when I'm done with this, I'm coming to your house, because man, that's just like gorgeous behind you. You look like you're in Santorini, Greece.
I wished.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to focus, but I'm like, I'm just sitting on my couch outside my bathroom, and it's just not as cool, as where Tracy is. So this is where young living can go. At Tracy's house is where young living can go. If you're not afraid, if you can get people in front of you, and if you can hear their needs. So we're going to train on the ifs of the business. 92% of the people in your organization are product users. They're customers. They're just ordering the product because they love it. They believe in it. They don't like their shampoo with 30 ingredients in it. They want to use stuff that's clean. And 8% of your people are actually going to build the business. But I think that number would be a little bit higher if people could get over the ifs, over the, I don't know enough people, I can't get people to come to class, all of that. So the number one thing I hear is they don't show up. I don't know why people aren't listening to me. I invite and they don't come. You hand out samples, they don't use them. Or they get a kit and then they are a zero and they drop off your team in a year, and you're just exhausted. And even your mom doesn't want to keep ordering anymore because it's just too expensive, right? So that's a place that we're going to train on today, and we're going to teach from today, is just nipping some of that stuff in the bud. But I want to start with a story. I think that all your classes should open with a story, because it is a level of relatability, where people in the room can connect with you on really kind of that spiritual level, and they walk away with something deeper than the business training, or deeper than the tools and the tips that you're giving them. They walk away connecting with you as a person and understanding, hey, if that person can walk through some of these things that I am feeling, then I can walk through those things too. I can walk forward. So I want to paint a picture of what it looked like when I started my business, because I know it's really easy sitting at a distributor rank or star or senior star or silver or a platinum rank to say, oh, well, she's a diamond, everything's okay. Like, she's got it all together. It's fine. So we have 5 kids. Our oldest son, Gabriel, is autistic, and he is 22 years old, and he is still very autistic, very, very, very autistic. And so when he was 18 months old, he went into the doctor's office. I was in my 20s, and we just did what we were told. And it was suggested that we got him 4 vaccines at once. So he got his shots, and we brought him home, and I noticed he was a little quieter than normal. And then that evening he spiked a fever, 105 fever, and he had a seizure, and then he stopped talking. So he went from, "Mommy, may I have the cup, please," to total silence. He didn't say my name for almost 5.5 years. Everybody was Anna. Dad was Anna, siblings were Anna, mama was Anna. And even at the age of 7, he had a vocabulary of 8 words at 7 years old. And so it started this whole period for us, first off, of label reading, because I do not know what your views are in vaccines, and I'm not here to shift your viewpoint on vaccines, but I am speaking to you as the mama of a son who had a very severe reaction to vaccines. And so we have walked through 22 years of that decision with our son. And it's been the most difficult thing as a mom that I've ever had to walk. We do not have any mental health diagnosis in our family anywhere. John and I have no mental health diagnosis. We have no history of autism or bipolar disorder or any of the things that Gabe's been diagnosed with on either side of our family, not over 8 grandparents, not for multiple generations. Nobody in hundreds of people have any of the diagnosis that our son has. And so by the time he was 9, we noticed things were starting to be an issue. He was starting to hit that hormone surge. And so when you can't talk, then it comes out as aggression. It comes out as, physical frustration. And so people would look at Gabe and think that he was a violent kid. I would look at him as his mama and say, no, he's trying to tell you something, he's trying to communicate something. Gabe is not a bad kid. He just can't use the same tools that you're using to communicate with the people around you. So you have to stand outside that box and just kind of watch what he's walking through so that you can connect with him and understand how to help him get to what it is that he's looking for. And this is still the same with him at 22 years old. He still has coping mechanisms that are not healthy, that John and I as his parents just sit down, even with him being married and having daughters. He's an amazing young man. He's a savant artist. He drew all of those pictures in the workbook, the coloring pages. He hand drew every single one of those for 4 months. I mean, the guy's just a savant artist, so gifted, but we're still dealing with the autism and all of the things, the little isms that are Gabe. And so I want to paint just a couple of minutes of what it was like being a mom of a special needs son. He, I would get up at 3 a.m. I would go and I would anchor news. And I came home, and this is after a 6 to 8 hour shift. So I'm writing 120 stories by hand, cutting up over 200 sound bites, reading 39 newspapers, monitoring 7 networks in a span of 3 to 4 hours. So it's a very, very, very fast shift. So when you get off of it, you're tired, and I walk home, or I don't walk home, I walk in the door and my kids are ready to start the day. Now it's 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and they're ready for mom and ready for 7 hours of homeschooling. I'm exhausted, right? So I just came through my whole shift. So I sit down and start our school day. And then halfway through, everybody goes in quiet time and mom gets a nap because it's everything I have just to get through that hour and a half of the beginning of school with these kids. And so I lay down to take a nap and I hear screaming outside my door and all the kids are in their spots. They all have quiet time places in different rooms. And I walk out and Noah, our little guy, had thrown a Lego at Gabriel. It didn't hurt him, but Gabe picked him up by the throat and put him up against the wall and was shoving dog treats down his throat until his lips started turning blue. And I could not get him to stop. And Noah wasn't breathing. So I put my body between him and Gabe and I'm trying to get Gabe off. I can't touch Gabe because he's autistic. So you touch a child with autism, you ignite them. Like it's completely the opposite of what you're trying to do. So you can't actually have physical contact with them, but you have to stop the behavior and what they're doing so other people don't get hurt. But he can't use his words to articulate that he's angry that Noah threw something at him. So I'm using my body to put it between him, not to hurt Gabriel, but to get him away from Noah so that I can get the dog treats out of his mouth so he can breathe. And I notice his lips are starting to turn blue. So I take him, I put him down on the floor and I'm just kind of getting the dog treats out of him and beating his back. And Gabe's mad that I took Noah away from him. So he goes over to Benjamin, our 4th born son, and he's doing math on his tablet. And Gabe decides he wants math. So he takes the tablet and he pulls it out of Ben's hands and Ben pulls back. And he's mad that he can't get the tablet. So he takes his hand and he slaps his face and he leaves welts all across his face with how hard he slapped him. So now I have 2 kids crying. I've got Noah breathing and he's gagging and choking up dog treats. And Ben's got welts all over his face. And so I go get an ice pack and I'm putting it on Ben's face. And then I hear screaming outside. So I go out into our garage and Gracie, our 3rd born, was in the van and Gabe thought he was going somewhere with me. And so he went and pulled Grace out of the van by her hair and threw her outside and then shut the door. And it was raining outside and she fell on the ground and scraped both of her knees. So she's sitting in a little puddle of blood outside and it's so completely soaked. And Gabe has locked her out of the house and he's standing on the other side of the door watching her get soaked in this rainstorm. This is 10 minutes of my life. So I'm going from kid to kid to kid to kid to kid to kid. Exhausted, guys, was like 7 years earlier than that. I'm basically at this point, by the time Gabe's 13, 14 years old, I'm on autopilot. We have 27 different people helping us, coming in, doing speech therapy with him. By the time he's 14, he was speaking, but it took a very long time for him to get his speech back. And it was exhausting. I was tired and I felt like I was dropping everything. I wasn't a good mom. I wasn't a good wife. I wasn't doing well anchoring news because I was so tired every single day. And so one day I was driving home from work. I don't know if you guys have ever had thoughts like this. I sometimes I just let the evil one in and I let him toy with my head. and I was in self-pity mode. And so I was driving up the hill and I just had the thought, well, gosh, if I wasn't here, somebody else would step in and do a better job than I'm doing right now, that they would be a better mom. They would be, a better caretaker to Gabe and do better with him with the autism, because right now, every plate I have, I'm dropping on the ground and it's shattering. I just gotten written up at work that day because I made a mistake in a news story, had all the fighting with Gabe the day before and trying to keep all the other kids safe. And I spend my whole day keeping Gabe safe from his siblings and his siblings safe from Gabe. And I'm just tired, and I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to do it anymore. I don't know if as a mom, you get to a place where you ever have those thoughts of I'm done. Like I don't have anything left to give anybody. My tank is at zero, and I can't do another 24 hours like I did the last 24 hours. There's nothing left for me to give. And so I had a thought that if I kept driving up the hill, we lived on a mountain, that I could drive up to the state park that was next to our house and just keep driving, just drive right off of the mountain, and somebody would step in and they would take over my shoes. And I had never had a thought like that before that day. And I've never had a thought like that since that day. It's what I would describe as just extreme desperation. There was nobody that could help. I had to step in and just do the same day over and over and over and over again, with no guarantees that my kids would be safe at the end of the day. And it was exhausting. And I was sitting there thinking these thoughts, and a song came on the radio by 10th Avenue North called Worn. And I don't know if you've ever heard that song before, but the song sounds like it's on autopilot. Like it's just repeating the same like 8 measures over and over and over and over again. And it's this guy crying out that he doesn't have anything left to give, that he's at his broken place. And if he's going to move forward, it's going to have to be with the strength of God, because there isn't anything left for him to actually lift up his leg and walk anymore. And so as I was driving, I'm just listening to the words of that song, and I'm like, my gosh, that's like exactly where I'm at right now. I saw this little beam of light hit my leg, and I looked down and I thought, wow, that's really strange, because sunshine doesn't exist in New York State. It's like cloudy all the time. I live 2 hours from the tundra of Canada, and it was the middle of March. It was blustery. I hadn't seen the sun in weeks. And so I pulled over, and the sun crossed my whole leg, and then it crossed my other leg, and then it filled the entire van. And then I looked out to my left, and the field, I could see the sunlight traveling across the field. And I remember thinking, this is a very strange thing in March to have sunshine in the field is really weird. So I got out of the car. I pulled over the side of the road and I got out of the car, and the sun went across the other field. And then I looked up into the sky, and it was just blue. It was just blue everywhere. And there was just no clouds anywhere. And I remember thinking, gosh, I feel like I'm standing in the presence of God right now, because I swear it was cloudy when I started driving 10 minutes ago. I know it was. Like, I know it's been blustery and windy. There was no wind. It was just sunny. And I was standing there, and I just kind of cried out to God. And I'm like, God, I don't understand. I love my kids. I'm thankful for the 5 kids you gave me, but I can't do this anymore. I cannot walk anymore. I'm exhausted. I don't have anything for them. I don't have the strength to make them food today. I don't have the strength to get them in bed today. I don't have the strength to homeschool them today. And I definitely don't have the strength to do Gabe today. Like I don't have anything left. And could I quit my job? Could I get something off my plate, so I've got less on my plate, so I can do the things that I need to do, because I'm completely overwhelmed every minute of the day. And I don't know what to cut. I work and I homeschool, and I can't put the kids in school because they're not thriving in the school environment. Gabriel was a nightmare in school. And so that was why we brought him home. And I can't quit working, because we're going to end back up in the projects again. So there's literally nothing that I can do to change the situation that I'm in, and I don't see any way out. So can I just quit? And I heard an audible voice say, no. And I lost all the breath in my lungs. And I stood there for a second, and I'm like, I think I just heard the voice of God. I think I just heard him talk, like actually speak to me. So I went and I sat down in my car, and all the breath went out of my lungs. And I just kind of had this dialogue going on with the Lord, and heard him talking in my head. After that, I said, well, God, I don't understand why. Why can't I let something go off my plate, because I can't keep moving like this. And I heard him say, Sarah, when you have control over the situation, you don't lean on me. You don't talk to me. You don't bring things to me. You don't pray. You just do it all yourself. You handle it all on your own. But when you're in a place where you're broken and you're worn and you're weary, that's when I hear from you. That's when you release the problem, and you release the situation to me, is when you're broken. And so I'm going to keep you in a place of weariness, because that's a place that I have for you to grow. And I just lean back and I'm like, God, you're right. You're absolutely 100% right, because I am controlling the situation. I'm trying to find a safe place for Gabe. I'm trying to keep the other kids safe, and I'm not doing a good job at anything that I'm doing. And it completely blindsided me. He was giving me a message of surrendering. You know, God literally was sitting down talking to me person to person, just saying, hey, this is the thing that I need you to do to get you to the place I need you to be, where you're going to be okay. And then a couple of miracles happened after that. I can't really explain them, but I got in the car and I started driving, and all of my intent was to go straight and to go into that state park. I don't remember driving home. It's almost like if I could go back and see it in my head, that there were like 100 angels pushing my car to the right to make a right hand turn into my street, instead of going straight like the way that I had planned for like 3 hours to go. I turned right, and I don't know why. And the next thing I knew, I was in my driveway. And so the second miracle happened. I got out of my car and I looked up, and it was windy, and it almost blew my door shut, and my clothes are flying everywhere and my hair's in my face. And I look up in the sky and it's all cloudy. There's no sun anywhere. And that was when I realized that God literally opened the sky to get my attention, just to talk to me. And so I'm going to tell you the end of the story of Gabe when we wrap up Unstuck. I'm going to make you cry. I love making people cry. But I want to tell you, we found a school to put him in. And so a couple weeks after this, I ended up driving out to Missouri and putting him in this school for a year. And when I drove back, my adrenals just shut off. Like 190 on an adrenal panel is dead. My adrenals were 185. So they were like hospitalization level, because my body was just like, I knew my son was safe. I knew my kids were safe. And now I was in the place where I could finally start to heal and do the things that I had needed to do for the last, 14 years of raising Gabriel. And everybody was okay. I was in my driveway when I got the call to come to my first oils class. So how many of you guys have sat there and said, yeah, I want to build a business, but like, I can't even think about the business right now. Like, I am so emotionally depleted, physically depleted, have so many things going on in my life that like, it's not even a blip on my radar. Guys, this was the most traumatic time of my entire life. I mean, I had just watched my family get ripped in half. My son had stabbed my other son. Gabriel had stabbed Isaiah with a mechanical pencil. He'd been charged with a felony and 2 misdemeanors before we got him into that school. Broken isn't even the word for the place that I was when I got the first invite to my oils class. But God wants you to build in the storm. He wants you to build in that place, because that's when you're leaning on him. That's when he gives you the strength to get through the situation, is when you're not doing it on your own strength, when you are too weak to be able to do the things that you need to be able to do, that he's calling you to do in obedience. And so I said no to the class. I'm like, you have no idea what I've just been through. I just ripped my whole family in half. We've been homeschooling these kids together since they were 5. I have 5 kids, not 4, but I have 4 kids in my roof right now. And I can't even think, because I'm so broken. I just drove away and left my son. I left him at this school, and I drove away and I watched his face staring at me as I left him in the driveway of that school. Like, the trauma that I had been through in the last year. I build a business. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no way. I'm not going to do anything right now. But God planned that income to pay for the $40,000 a year school that Gabe was in. I had to have the income then. I needed it then. I didn't know that. So I said no. Well, then they invited me to a class a month later, same class. I said no. And then a month later, I said no. And then a month later, I said no. 5 months later, after Gabe had been at that school, I finally went to the class and then got the starter kit. And then she wanted me to do the business. And I said no. It was 7 weeks of just getting the starter kit. It's God literally has to drop boulders on my head to get me to a place of safety. I don't even see it, guys. I mean, when I tell you I am dumb as a box of rocks, he literally dropped a box of rocks on my head to get my attention with this business and get my attention, because I was so broken and so emotionally depleted and so impoverished and so like spiritually defeated. I was broken on every single way you could be broken. Every single way that your spirit could be broken, I was broken when I got invited to that class. But I didn't know that by the time Gabe came home, I was going to be a silver. I didn't know that a month after he came home, we were going to hit the rank of gold. I didn't know that God was going to use my income while he was gone and right after he came back, that within a couple of months to pay off a debt that we didn't even make enough in a year to pay the debt for that school. I didn't know any of those things or what God was going to do with our business. All I knew was that I was too weak to walk. So I'm going to speak to you from the place of being too weak to walk, because I know what that feels like. I know what it feels. God can still carve a diamond out of that place. All right. I stand in front of you as a diamond because God can still carve a diamond out of those broken places. So we'll get to the rest of Gabe's story and what happened after the felony and all that in a minute. But I want to take the next 30 minutes and just talk to you guys about business stuff. All right. And what the Lord did after I got my kit and how we got to that place of building to silver. The release of the doubts of your business happens in the surrender of your gifts. Those little tiny pieces that you have that you can give, God can turn that into a diamond ship. Those little tiny things. If you're surrendering your time and your tongue and your talent and your doubt and your fear, you just put it in a box and you leave it at the cross. And that means no fear and no anxiety because it's already been paid for. Then you can get out there and you can stamp out your word and you can build your freedom. Hey guys, whoever's not muted, would you mind muting your microphone for me? Just so that everybody can hear. Thank you so much. So are you lost? Are you lost? If you are, I want you to go back to the concept that I taught in game plan of tongue, head, feet. And this is a legit exercise, something I truly want you guys to do, tongue, head, feet. The more real and authentic and raw you are with this exercise, the better it's going to work. So as soon as we're done with this training, I want you to take a piece of paper and I want you to write down all the things that you really believe about your business. And if you're not sure what you believe about your business, it's okay. Listen to the way you talk over the next couple of days. How do you talk to your spouse about your business? How do you talk to your team about your business or the one leader that you complain to? All right, that one person. I want you to really write down the real things that are coming out of your mouth about your business. I can't get people to come to class. I keep trying to build. I was a silver, but I lost my rank during the pandemic and I can't get my rank back. What are you saying over your business every single day? Are you speaking death over your business? What are you speaking about your business? And what I want you to do is write that down. And then I want you to write the opposites of every single thing that you're saying. All right. Every single thing that you're saying. So for example, I can't do this because I have no money. I can do this because I have enough. Right. So what I want you to do is write down everything. And even if more stuff comes to you over the next couple of days, gosh, I didn't even realize I was speaking this over my business. Satan uses your speech as a tool to tear down your organization, guys. I'm not exaggerating this. You literally could be withholding your own rank from yourself by the way that you're talking about your business and about your team. You're limiting what you can do with your own speech. And if you don't believe me, go get into the word and look at what the Bible says about speech. Just do a quick word search on the tongue in scripture and you'll be blown away. I mean, God calls it a double-edged sword. You can build up and tear down your own organization you're trying to build at the same time, right? So what I want you to do is write down what you actually believe about your business. Then I want you to write the opposite next to it. And that is all you will allow your tongue to say. You will not allow anything else to come out of your mouth. Even if you actually truly believe those things, I don't want you to say that stuff. So, because what happens is you start speaking it and then your head begins to believe some of the things that you're saying. It's crazy. You can literally train your brain into believing certain things. And then your feet start to follow. They will follow the action that your tongue is giving your feet to do. So I can't do this because I don't know anybody. I can't do this because of friends of friends. I'm going to explain that concept to you. That's how we built to silver in 12 weeks after we got our starter kit, was friends of friends. I can't do this because I live in a small town. I can't do this because the size of my town does not dictate the size of my business. I can't do this because I'm too old. I can do this because I'm mature. I can't do this because I'm too young. I can do this because I can connect with people and I have the gift of technology and networking. I can't do this because I'm not pretty. I can do this because God made me perfect and he made no mistakes when he made me. I can't do this because I don't have a business to pull from. I can do this because it doesn't take a network to build. It takes standing on top of fear and talking to humans, and I can talk to humans, right? How to talk to humans. I can do it. I can talk to them. I can't do this because I don't have a business to pull from. I can do this because it doesn't take a network to build, right? I can't do this because I'm not an aromatherapist. I don't have any titles. Well, it's great because you don't need titles to be able to build your business. All you need is script, kit, human, repeat. All right. Script, kit, human, repeat. You do those actions. Those are the things that will get you to the rank of diamond, not on any fancy $10,000 training. Hold on one second, guys. My computer is being funny on me. There we go. You get a shot of my shirt for a second. There we go. It's not any really cool $10,000 trainings. It's not any book that you buy, even coming from somebody who writes books. It's your actions. All right. It's the things you pour into your business. It's what you believe about your business and what you're willing to do. And how are you spending your time? Those are the things that get you to diamond. All right. And if anybody else promises you diamond by anything else, don't you believe them, because it's you and your actions and your speech that are going to get you to diamond, not anything that anybody puts in your hands and not anything that anybody tells you. It's what you believe about your business yourself, right? I can't do this because I don't have time. You have enough time to build your business. You just have to decide that you want to build it. You have to decide that it's a priority to you, and then you make sure that it fits into those little spaces. I have a woman on my team that just hit silver. She did it with her husband gone 350 days a year. He's only home 15 days a year. She has 5 children, twins, and one of them has a congenital heart failure and the other one has a genetic malformality. And so she taught like 200 classes with all of those kids. Took her 5 years to hit silver, but she hit silver during the pandemic, So you just have to decide how bad you want it and what you're willing to invest in your business time-wise. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear apart all the things that are in your head for a couple of minutes. Can I have permission to do that? I'm just going to shred it because we're just going to walk for a minute. I didn't tell you my secondary color is red. So I don't like excuses. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at all the things that are buzzing around in your head. If you have the Unstuck book, you can actually follow along with me. I think it's on page 60. Shred away, Stephanie says. All right, here we go. So whenever I find my head slipping into places where it shouldn't be, what I like to do is just look at fact. I just look at truth and just say, all right, God, what are you going to speak over me in this place? And just give me some actual tangible science and statistics so that I can get out of the things that I'm believing about myself. So I'm going to give you a sentence and I want you to hear the excuse in the sentence. So there are more than 450 diamonds in Young Living right now. There are diamonds that started from extreme poverty and some that started from significant wealth. We were in the projects and then we were living in a 1,000 square foot house when we started building our business. So do you have to have money? Do you hear the excuse there? I don't have enough money to build my business. Well, I built it, out of nothing. I mean, nothing. We didn't have anything in our bank account. We were living on $20 a week. So that tells me you don't have to have money to build your business. You have to pick up the phone and call people or get them in front of you. You don't have to have money to be able to build your business. So listen for the excuses. There are diamonds that began their organizations in large cities and some that started in towns of 600. There are diamonds that moved across the country or across the world, and they left everything they knew, including all of their friends and family. And there are diamonds teaching in the small towns where they grew up. There are diamonds that are missionaries living in isolated locations. And there are diamonds that were famous before they ever got a Young Living starter kit. There are diamonds that built entirely on social media like Instagram and Facebook. And there are also diamonds that built with cassette tapes of 101 classes on horseback. And both ways work, by the way, and neither is wrong. There are diamonds with 15 children and then diamonds that live alone. There are diamonds in their 70s and above and diamonds that have just broken into their 20s. There are diamond men that built without a spouse, and there are female diamonds that built without the support of their husband. So my husband doesn't support my business. Any of you guys on this training believe that? I can give you 4 words to debunk anything your husband's throwing at you. All you have to do is 4 words. Show him the check. Okay. Show him the check and he will be on board with what you are doing. So just say, hey, can I have 6 months? I'm going to go teach classes for 6 months. I'm going to show you this check. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Then you don't have that issue anymore. So don't tell me your husband doesn't support your business. Go give him a reason to support your business. So he's excited about it just like you are, right? There are diamonds whose spouse is still working because they love their job and they never even been to a Young Living event. There are diamonds that are shy and diamonds that love the biggest crowd they can speak in front of. There are introverted diamonds and extroverted diamonds. Diamonds from Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, Indonesia, Mexico, Europe, Texas, Florida, diamonds from all over the United States. And each one found a way to share in their own place. There are diamonds with PhDs in various fields who have won the respect of their peers at their prior jobs, and they have very gifted skill sets outside of oiling. And there are diamonds who've been stay-at-home moms and dads for years with no title and no letters after their last name, just mama and daddy. There are diamonds that are battling a major health crisis, who have struggled with weight and hormone issues for years. And there are diamonds that are out there running gyms. A diamond ship is not based on how you look. It's not based on what the scale says. The majority of the diamonds have had no formal aromatherapy training, and they've never been to school for network marketing, sales, marketing, or business. And I can safely say that nearly all of the diamonds did not have the time to launch their business when they did. I haven't met all 450 of them, but I've met about 300 of them, and not one of them told me they had time to build their business when they started it. Many were accidental business builders that got in just to get their product for free, and they infectiously shared, and then they found freedom through it. But there were also some who started because of the business opportunity, and they were dedicated and focused from the get-go, and they planned strategically, and both of them got a diamond ship. Some had Royal Crown diamonds that knew their name and cell number by memory, and others never even met their diamond until their first diamond retreat. Many don't even have an upline diamond. There are Royal Crown diamonds with senior star or inactive uplines. So do you know what that means? None of that stuff has anything to do with what it takes to be a diamond. It's true. So if you're holding out till you know more people, or your kids get older, or you lose weight, or you get more certifications, or more network marketing training, it's costing you rank up time. You don't need any of that stuff. It's not a qualifying factor of what it takes to get to diamond. I can tell you what is, because there's only 3 things that grow your business in whatever form it looks like for you. Teaching classes. Maybe that's doing it on Zoom. Maybe it's doing it on your couch with 2 or 3 women. Maybe it's doing it at a vendor event and then inviting them to a class. You know, whatever it is. My hubby's just joined me, Helen says. That's awesome. Whatever way it is, right? Teach. When you share with people, you are meeting their needs, right? You're meeting a need that they have. And so sharing equals OGV growth. Every single time I ranked up, I was teaching classes. Every single time. 70% of the diamonds in Young Living built by in-person classes. 70%. So I don't know about you, but that's a really good way to build your business if 7 in 10 diamonds built that way, right? 30% of the diamonds were all the other ways, building on Instagram. And I'm not telling you that that's not a viable way to build. There are diamonds that have done it, but I'm telling you that 70% of them built by sitting down and just connecting with people and finding what their needs were. So whatever way you did that got you to the rank you have right now, go back and keep doing that, all right? Because that's your way of sharing. That's your way of bringing people into your organization, right? So the 3 things they did, they taught classes, they got people on loyalty rewards, which, oh my gosh, the script book, right? With all the training, just teach next class. We just taught an enzymes class and my entire editing team got enzymes for them and their husband. Every single one of my editors for the script book got on enzymes after that class because they're like convicted, right? They're like, oh my gosh, I can have a flat stomach if I'm taking all 4 enzymes. Are you kidding me? Flat stomach, yes. And they get all 4 enzymes and they get on them and they are doing amazing. So doing product education, loyalty rewards, get them on ER, right? LR. And then the 3rd thing is training your leaders, right? Training your leaders. So those are the things that grow your organization. I can tell you all the diamonds did all those 3 things to rank, and they did them with tenacity and they did them with consistency. If you're telling me that you're too soft-spoken, not just to lead a team, but to even approach people, here's the thing, even soft-spoken people have fight in them. They will go to the end of the earth to care for and protect their families. So personality does not matter. So do not use that as a crutch to avoid sharing oils. You just need to share in a way that's comfortable for you. So did you guys hear any of the things you have heard in your head in the past in that little excuse paragraph? Right? Don't do that, right? Don't do that. So now what we're going to do is, and I'm going to fly through these because I know our time's about up here, is I want to put some good tips in your hand. All right. Go back in your, yeah, Beverly says, I did a lot of conference calls. If that's how you brought people in and that's how you ranked up, Beverly, then you go back to that, right? Go back to that. So what Vanessa says, unfortunately, yes, I did hear some of the things. I heard some of those things. All right. I want you to just, at the moment, put those in a little box and we're going to get back to all those excuses. All right. What I want to do is I want to give you some tangible things that are going to help you to get past some of that stuff. You know, the excuses, you know, you need to speak life over your business. We just did 30 minutes of mindset training. Now we're going to do a little mojo, all right, a little bit of mojo training. So basically, if you're stuck and you have plateaued and your OGV is not growing, or you hit a rank and you've lost your rank and you're just feeling really frustrated, what I would tell you is you need to get one kit sale so that you get excited again and start believing that you can do this. And so there's a few things that I do to get myself to a kit sale, a single kit sale. So I'm excited again. Mojo method number 1 is warm market. So when I need you as that little person speaking in my ear daily. I am Cheryl. Speak life over yourself. Write down what you're saying and only allow yourself to say the opposite. Like you will be your little angel on your own shoulder. So when I first started building my business, there were a few key things that I did. And John and I actually went back after we hit diamond and said, how do we get to silver 12 weeks after we got our starter kit? Like, what did we do? How do we do that? Like, I don't even know what I actually did. I just told everybody about oil, like just over and over and over again, right? But there was actually a strategy to it. So the first thing I did is I signed my circle. I signed everybody that I knew, the people closest to me, my friends, coworkers, family, and I kind of word vomited on them because I was so excited about the oils and what I had seeing them do. If there's somebody that's not on your team and you would cry if you saw them join another team, that person needs to be on your team this week. Okay, like go get them. Like they should not be on somebody else's team. Then I made it my personal goal to help them get their order for free. So I did not stop teaching until they had enough people under them that they were getting a paycheck and their order was free. And they got unlimited Ningxia and they got unlimited Savvy and unlimited seedlings and whatever it was that their family needed. I didn't stop teaching under them until they got their orders for free. So make a list of every person you know, Facebook friends, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, Christmas card list, address book, all your saved contacts in your cell phone. MIT says the average cell phone user has 347 contacts in their phone and talks to 45 of them every single month. There's about 100 people on a silver team. So that would be 3.5 silver teams just from your cell phone. Just from your cell phone, guys, just this. And you're not even a creepy creeper. Like these people know you. So start from that place. Other places to pull from. People in cubicles next to you at work, people at church, parents of kids on my kids' basketball and soccer teams, friends where I volunteer, the teller at my bank that knows my name, the lady at the post office, the gas station clerk that I see every day. You'll be blown away by the people that you actually know. So build relationships with them and then, get oil on their body. Conversations are an investment in people. Method number 2 is Zoom classes. I have taught a prolific amount of Zoom classes this last year during the pandemic. Like it's crazy. I'm actually losing my voice this week because this is like my 11th Zoom that I've done. And it's only Wednesday this week. So, let me give you a challenge. What if every single person, you're not going to get through a training with me without getting homework. I'm really sorry. So this is homework assignment number 1 for you guys. All right. And I mean this, if you do this, you will see growth in your organization. I promise you, you will see growth. So this doesn't work if you have one person on your team. But for those of you that have a couple of people on your team, this will work, all right? What if you made it your goal that every single person in your organization, and if you have 10,000 on your team, I apologize to you, but if every person in your organization had all 25 classes from the script book by the end of the year, if you took the script book challenge, every single person in your team was trained in CBD, they were trained in seedlings, they were trained in diffusers, they were trained in the massage oils, they were trained in the supplements, they were trained, every single person in your team was trained in all 25 classes. Do you know what that would do to your OGV? Like, oh my word. What I found is when people sit in one class, they spend maybe 50 bucks. They sit in 2 classes, they might spend $100 because now they know about thieves and they're getting everything out from underneath their cabinets, right? They sit in a Ningxia class, they have to have Ningxia. So maybe all their family doesn't get it, but they have to have it. When their orders go up, they're willing to invite people to classes because they need capital to be able to place larger orders. So it's cyclical. It works in a cycle. So what if you did that? What if you made it your goal that they had all of the classes, every single one of them? You just grab a couple of people in your downline and you teach a Zoom every single week. Zoom.us, no excuses. Track it with the Diamond Rising deck cards. These are those little cards that just ask them, hey, what are they interested in? Why don't I give them a couple of those away? Let's see, who hasn't won anything? Oh, let's see. Beverly, I love you, girl. I'm gonna get an Euler edition book to you and a workbook of the script book, and then also a Diamond Rising deck for you as well. Everybody's like, I have them. Vanessa, all right, you got bonus points, girl. I'm gonna send you a script book, Vanessa, because you're just awesome. So these are the little cards I use just to track which classes they've had and what they're interested in. So do Zoom classes. Contact method number 3 is friends of friends. And this works so stinking well. So I didn't go through all the cards, but there's 3 of them. So there's a prospecting card for when they come to a class or if you're at a vendor event, and it just asks all the questions you can't ask them in 30 seconds. There is a distributor card for once they join your team, and it kind of walks them through an aromatherapy funnel. And then there's a leader card, a Diamond Rising leader card for when they have decided to build a business, and it runs them through a business funnel. So you can track every person on your team from distributor to Royal Crown Diamond with 3 cards in a little 4x6 card deck. So I just love that set. So friends of friends. Katie says, I have all your books. Yay. I train leaders with game plan. I do game plan boot camps on my team twice a year. I'm still doing them. It's been 4 years and we've taken our OGV from 274,000 hitting diamond to 731,000 because of game plan. So it still works, especially when you're training those new leaders that are just coming in or your older ones that are getting distracted. It brings them back center again. So I run a 12-day boot camp in July and January with my team every single year. And we rerun game plan. It works so well. So the concept of friends of friends. I teach a game plan class 4 times a year. That's awesome. Thank you. All right, Katie, you got brownie points. So girl, I'm going to give you 20 minis. Okay. So let Beverly know that you got 20 script book minis. All right, so friends of friends, this is going to blow your doors off, guys. This is, if you've not utilized this concept, this is about to change the entire way that you look at your business. So the first thing that I told you to do was go through your cell phone contacts list and get all 350 people in your cell phone signed to your team, right? And every single person you know, all your Facebook contacts, get all of them signed. Second homework assignment that I gave you is to make sure every person on your team has all 25 classes. The third thing is those people, especially the ones that are on Essential Rewards, make it your goal that they get their order for free. So what does that look like? I don't stop teaching under them to their friend circles until they have at least 15 people under them that are on loyalty rewards. So they're excited, they're ordering a lot. We're going to help them get a paycheck so that they can cover their order. So say you have 9 people on your team that are on Essential Rewards, and you make it your goal that they don't ever pay for their order ever again. So you're going to teach the seedlings class, and you're going to teach the Gary Young class, and you're going to teach the supplements class, and you're going to teach the Ningxia class to their friend circles until they have 15 people under them. So those 9 people have 15 people under them. All of a sudden, you have 135 people on that leg. And they're not spending 50 PV because they're getting all these script book classes. Now they're spending 300 PV. That one leg and those 9 people are now a leg with 40,500 in gold volume. Do you see how you can take one small group of people and blow it up just by tapping into friend circles and helping them get their orders for free? Do you guys see that? So I do this with my people that are on Essential Rewards because 40,000 is a really good OGV. I'm going to take you into my VO and actually show you what that looks like. So month 1, this is like a screenshot of my virtual office numbers. Month 1, I had 7 people on my team. I taught a class, I signed people I knew, and it was me and 6 other people, and my OGV was 1,000. So when you stop teaching for others and train them to teach, a lot of times what I'm finding, Donna, is they just get it. They get excited. If I say, hey, you want to learn how to get your oils for free? I hand out a game plan mini, they read it, and I get them into a teacher training. So I will just point blank ask them. If you guys have not seen the teacher training, super easy. You just go to oilabilityteam.com and you go to share, and then you go to teacher training. It's under the share button, and it's a 1-page document. It's like takes 30 minutes to train them. You go through the income disclosure guide, why do a Young Living business, what their paycheck looks like. So breaking down the compensation plan with them. And so how they get paid. Then the back of it is silver bound just to get them to star. They plot out what their rank is going to look like. And we do a little bit of follow up with them. So, and then they're off and they have 48 hours to teach their first class. So that's how I train my leaders and get them up and running. And teaching the first class is easy. I just give them a PowerPoint and have them read the words under the screen. So super, super easy. And I train them on the core 5. So oils, thieves, Ningxia, CBD, kids class. Those 5 PowerPoints are up on our website. They're free. It's a free download and they're amazing. So I sat down and I taught the 101 class, the oils class, to those 7 people. They opened their friend circles to me. And at the end of 4 weeks, we had 27 people on the team and my OGV was 2,300 and we were senior star. So at the end of 8 weeks, I kept teaching these 27 and their friend circles. And we had 63 people on the team and my OGV was 6,200. And at the end of 12 weeks, month 4, we had 118 people on the team and my OGV was 14,739. And I hit silver by just teaching the 101 class. So that's the concept of Friends of Friends. And this is actually what those PowerPoints look like. They're professionally designed, guys. They're super, super nice. And then I will go in and I will grab videos that Young Living has put together, like off of Flickr or off of the Young Living training page or their YouTube channel. And I embed them in here and they make you look really stinking good. Really, really good. So you just click on the slide and read the words under the slide. It's really easy. We actually had a 17-year-old teaching the Savvy class this last month and she hit silver, 17 years old. And she was using the script book classes to teach. So I highly, highly recommend that you show your teams the classes. They're very easy to find. If you go over to the website, you just go to share. And 101 oils is here, thieves, Ningxia, CBD, kids class, all free. It don't cost anything at all. So, all right, that's a thieves class. This is the Ningxia class. So you guys literally have no excuses. Like you have a teacher training and you have classes and you have 25 classes. You've got continuing education. You've got the core 5, to bring people into your organization. So my message to you is script, kit, human, repeat, right? Script, kit, human, repeat. You know the mojo methods to get to that very, very first kit sale, right? You know how to get there. It's warm market, Zoom classes, and friends of friends, tapping into what you already have. So, try to get to that one kit sale and get super excited about your business again. And then I want you to word vomit this all over your team, just all over the place. So, ask yourself what your goal is and sit down and start working toward it. Tip 2 from Unstuck, more ways to increase your OGV. Everybody in your team gets all the script book classes. Go through the zeros on your team and the inactives on your team and start teaching to them, the ones that are about to drop off. Be strategic. If you lost silver and you're 2,000 OGV short on one leg, that's 20 kits or 20 classes, or 4 classes with 4 to 5 people in them. That means getting your silver back is really only a month's worth of work away, right? If you're teaching a class a week and you've got 4 or 5 people in the class. So it's very, very, very doable. Teach classes and show your team how to teach, because they're going to duplicate what they see you do, and have an eye to see the needs around you. Notice the people that are coughing, at your workplace. Notice the friends that put a post up that their kids are sick. Those are the people that you're focusing on bringing into your organization. So tip number 3 from Unstuck is how I get over rejection. Sarah, what if they say no to me? Like, what if they won't come to the class? Well, first off, no now doesn't necessarily mean no forever. I mean, I said no to my starter kit for 7 months, right? And I ended up being a diamond, and I was silver 12 weeks after I got that kit. So it doesn't always mean no forever. There's a lot of reasons why people don't respond. They're not always saying no to you. They might be legitimately busy. I mean, I was in the middle of the biggest crisis I'd ever had. They might be distracted. They may be overwhelmed. They may be amid a major life event. They may not see the value of oils yet. They may not be emotionally or physically in a place to learn something new, although the desire for clean living is there. There's 10,000 reasons for silence. So you have to emotionally detach yourself from the sale of the starter kit. And you can't take every no or not yet as a personal affront. And that's hard. That's really, really hard to do, because we think our friends are rejecting us, but it's not true. And that's why we don't confidently ask people about oils. But without confidence, you're dead in the water, because people are only going to follow what they want for themselves. They will not follow fear. So how do I personally get over rejection? That's really easy. I can answer that in one word: volume. Volume. Y'all. All right. Say you have 10 people on your team right now, and I just told you to teach them 25 classes this year. I just gave you 250 classes that you have to teach between now and December. That's a lot of classes, right? What if you have 9 people on your team and your friends are friends in those 9, and you have 135 on their team, and now you got to teach all of them 25 classes. Thanks, Sarah Harnisch. Now I have 3,375 classes to teach, or God forbid, you have 350 contacts in your cell phone and you got to get them signed and teach them all 25 classes. I give you 8,750 classes to teach. So you got plenty of volume in front of you, just between your cell phone and your Facebook friends and friends of friends and the people who are already on your team. You have so much volume, you don't even know what to do with the people that need classes on your team. So what I want you to do is be so busy teaching classes, building relationships, contacting your warm and cold market list, handing out purple bags, teaching taxable classes, listening to the needs of people, that you don't even wince at the 6 people that said that they would come and it was a no-show. You just stay focused on new faces every single day. You're always looking forward, not backward, because backward thinking leads to backward business growth. Tip 4 is the art of listening. But Sarah, they're not coming to class. Like, they're not actually coming and showing up. This is the entire secret to relationship building. So the only reason that you have no-show classes is because people don't know they need the oils. If they know that they need the oils, they will come. You get them to come by listening to their needs. You get them to come by meeting them where they are without any judgment. You have just reached the inner sanctum of network marketing. So when people tell you network marketing doesn't work, it's usually because they haven't mastered this one skill. So here's clear instruction on what to do. Stop making every conversation about you. Don't talk about yourself, because you're stealing time on the clock that you have that you need to get to know them. So here's a statistic that's just going to blow your mind. One on-fire oiler can fill a class for you. One on-fire oiler that you have poured into knows 2,000 people by the time they're 20 years old. The average person knows 2,000 people. So I told you earlier, the average silver ship is 100 people on the team. That means one on-fire oiler can build 20 silver ships with their contacts. That's simple math. Invest in people and they will build the business for you, even if they're not an active business builder. I didn't see the business till I was nearly platinum. So how do you talk to people that you don't know? How do you talk to people that are on your team that are not engaging with you anymore? People that are not coming to classes, not showing up for Zoom calls, not coming to rallies, not coming over to your house. What do you do? It's the same principle. Whether they're clocked out and they're on your team and they're not engaging, or people that you don't even know at all that you just met in the Whole Foods parking lot. So first thing is you ask leading questions. You got to ask something about them to initiate the conversation, to start the dialogue. Second is you wait and you let them talk. You don't respond with your own stories. Then you take note of the things that they're saying. And if the chance arises, you get oils on their body, or you loan out an oil, or you loan out an oil and a diffuser. If the chance does not arise, don't shove oil down their throat. Just keep building the relationship. If you have 4 or 5 conversations before oils enter in, that's totally okay. Don't hunt people. You love on them. You bless them with your knowledge and your wisdom. So let's go over that again. And you guys can screenshot this this PowerPoint slide, because this is really, really good, solid training on how to talk to strangers. So ask leading questions, respond to questions with questions, stop talking for 2 minutes and listen, find common ground, and then meet them in their place in need and oil them up. And this is my favorite line that I give them. I think this is the answer that you've been looking for. I think this is the answer you've been looking for. The mama that's got the kids that are sick. Oh gosh, you know, I have 2 kids too. That's awesome. Your kids are so beautiful. Like, they're just amazing. And oh yeah. You know, we just moved here and I don't know a lot of people. And oh, well, hey, you know, we should get our kids together sometime. It's really good to get to know them. I mean, you're obviously shopping where I shop. So we've got some things in common, you know. So tell me a little bit about your kids. How old are they? Oh, well, they're, you know, 4 and 2. Well, no, wait, my kids are 5 and 3. That's awesome. Find common ground. Yeah, well, they just got over a cold and I'm trying to, you know, help them back on their feet. I want to get Joey Joe back in soccer again, and say, oh my gosh, there's something that I do for my kids when they have a cold. I think it might be the answer to what you're looking for. You see how I kind of just walk you through, you ask the leading questions, you respond with questions, you listen to them talk about themselves, you find common ground, and then you meet them in their place of need. That is how you open dialogue with people, even people that are already on your team. So if you're talking to somebody you don't know, though, how do you contact their, you know, get their contact information in a non-creepy way? Do you realize if you can talk to strangers that the world is like your playground? There's nobody you can't sign on your team. If you walk into Walmart, the 10,000 people in that Walmart store in a given 24 hours, you creepy people watcher, they could all be on your team. You're like, but I don't want people in Walmart. Okay, then go to Whole Foods. All right, go sign all the people in the Whole Foods. But so this is how you contact their information, get their contact information. If you're just like in an aisle, or if you're checking out, you know, you use the tips that I just told you before, where you strike up the conversation with them, right? Asking questions, strike up the conversation. And then when you're getting ready to end the conversation, you find that common ground, or say, hey, I just want to make sure you're okay. Can I add you on Facebook? Or I love that our kids are the same ages. Would it be okay to add you on Facebook? Would that be all right? Here's the thing. I'm going to give you a little secret. I've never had anybody say no to me, ever, because it's super uncomfortable to say no to somebody in person. So if they want to say no to you, they'll block you later. They'll unfriend you later after you walk away, but almost everybody will give you their information. It's really kind of cool, actually, because people have a comfort level. So then I just respond and say, I think this is the answer you've been looking for. So I find them on Facebook. I hold up their profile picture. Is this you? Yes, it is. Say, hey, I'm going to add you. And then I get out to my car. I screenshot it. I get out to my car and I find them and I add them. And I say, hey, this is Sarah, that creepy oils lady that you met at Whole Foods. It's so cool that we connected. I'm so grateful to get to know you a little bit more. You were telling me your kids are sick. I think that this might be the answer that you've been looking for. Would it be okay if I run my diffuser by and some eucalyptus tonight? I think it might give them a better night of sleep, right? You're offering solutions for things that they need answers for. That's how you get people to come into class. I want you to practice that line on your own team this week and see if you can get some of your team leaders to come into a class. I think this is the answer you've been looking for. Try it. All right. So perfect persistence. I'm going to fly here because I'm out of time. I'm talking too much, guys. I hope I'm doing okay. I know you need to get off. We're almost at the end. So it takes about 7 to 15 conversations to get somebody to a starter kit, and about 7 to 15 conversations to get them to loyalty rewards. So instead of just having them, you know, pick up the phone and say, going to get a kit, going to get a kit, going to get a kit, I just run them through the funnel. I run them through the funnel on the Diamond Rising deck cards, and I run them through the funnel with a script book and say, hey, you know what? I promised you a Thieves class. We haven't gotten to that yet, right? Usually if you're offering something that they need, or you've loaned out an oil or given a sample, there's some interest there. So just fall back on your training and you're not going to sound like a salesperson. If you're offering something that they need, right? They don't see the value of oils yet. They're in the place that you were when your kit showed up on your door. So you've got to educate them to get them to the place where you are. Leading them to training is your job. Leading them to find their wow moment with oils is their job. You lead with your love for them. That is the secret to stopping no-show classes. You've got to be patient with them and work on doing that relationship building, but 7 to 15 times, right? But Sarah, I don't want to be patient with them. I'm afraid. I've already asked them 3 times. They're going to think I'm a jerk because I just keep asking and asking and asking, and I can't go back and do it again. Remember when we opened and we talked about fear and doing things that scare you a little bit? I kicked your face in with the excuses stuff. Now we're going to do it again with fear for just a second here. All right. Young living is a vehicle. It's not a replacement for your dreams. So you can still do young living and pursue the desires of your heart. They just don't own you. So for example, I love radio. Like I'm going to be a Royal Crown Diamond and still do radio because it has a piece of my heart. I feel alive when I sit in the chair and I'm doing my anchoring. But one day I was sitting there in the chair and I had an intern who was shadowing me. And I was writing my news on the teleprompter right here. This is the actual newsroom in New York that I anchor from. News is very serious, by the way. Very serious profession. We take it seriously and we don't horse around ever, like putting the word kitten in our newscast 7 times. We don't do that, right? To win a milkshake. So I was sitting there and I had a white piece of paper in front of me and I had to go live in 2 minutes. And there's 5 million people that listen to this network. And my intern, she's breaking out in cold sweat. She's literally got sweat dripping down her neck. And she's like, Sarah, are you going to write something? And I said, well, yeah, I just can't think of, I've got writer's block right now. I'm not trying to show off. I actually can't think of what I'm trying to write. And she just kind of looked at me, her eyes are really wide. And I looked up at CNN and it was the exact story I wanted to lead with, the same way I wanted to get into it. So I started writing and I got some ideas and I wrote 10 stories, grabbed 7 pieces of tape, threw it in my newscast. I'm writing that last story while the stinger's going off. I pulled that microphone over, I'm throwing my headset on and I'm reading while I'm writing. And she just sitting there and her eyes are really wide. And I get to the end of my newscast and I said, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, and I didn't mess anything up. And my newscast had to be 4 minutes and it was 4:00:00:00. I hadn't timed it out, turned my microphone off and I leaned back and I was like, we made it. Like, yes, we did it. And she just looked at me and I'm ego tripping, totally ego tripping. She looks at me and she's a totally different look on her face. And she's like, Sarah, you're not where you're supposed to be. I said, what do you mean I'm not where I'm supposed to be? Like, I love anchoring news. She said, God is always calling us to be stretched beyond our comfort zone. And you were way too comfortable putting that newscast together. She goes, girl, what you just did, that would have taken me 3 hours to do that. What you just did in 2 minutes. You're not leaning on God. Like you're just doing it all yourself. You're plowing through, you're doing it all yourself. And you're not doing anything that scares you or stretches you or pulls you out of your comfort zone. She goes, I don't know if God's given you something else that you're supposed to be doing, which by the way, I was almost a platinum that day when she was sitting there talking to me. She goes, I don't know if he's given you anything else or open a door for you for anything else, but you're definitely not supposed to be here. And then the little punk 19-year-old got up and walked out of the room and she didn't know she left like 9 daggers in my back. I'm like, that's stupid 19-year-old. Like she doesn't even know. Right? She doesn't know anything. So I go home and I tell my husband, I'm mumbling under my breath about that 19-year-old. And John looks at me. He's been telling me to quit my job and do Young Living for like a year. And he looks at me. He's like, right? Because I'm listening to the intern, but not listening to him. So I went in the next day and I quit my job. I quit my full-time job. And 8 weeks later, we hit platinum. And it was like 8 months after that, we hit diamond. It was crazy how fast we ranked. Guys, I would have missed it all if I stayed in a place of fear. I would have missed it all if I thought my identity was as a news anchor. I would never have met my leaders. I wouldn't have met you guys if I let my insecurities dictate my business. So what's my advice? Walk. Just walk. Even through the stuff you're scared. If you're afraid of closing classes, I want you to go close 100 classes this summer. If you're afraid of standing in front of people and teaching a class in front of 10 people, I want you to do that 100 times this summer because that's the place God has for you to grow. If you're afraid of picking up the phone and calling the people in your downline, that's what I want you to do 100 times this summer until you can't even say you're scared of it anymore. Do the things that scare you because that's the place God has for you to grow. You're gathering experiences that your leaders need to rank. So I want you to move. So really quickly, I'm going to tell you this fast because I want to get to the very last slide. Things that don't work, distraction, right? Printing aromatherapy graphics and printables and putting them in folders for classes. Ask yourself if what you're doing can be copied. If you can't be copied, I don't want you to do it. Giving away your oils, sometimes by the bottle. Going for aromatherapy certifications. People can't copy you. Making an entire oil store and hauling it to classes with roll-ons and creams and salves and sprays. Guys, let Young Living be the store. We're blessed that we don't have to stock product. They do it great. Investing in more than one network marketing company. All I can tell you is I have 76 silvers on my team, 10,000 people. I don't have one person that's a silver that's doing 2 network marketing companies successfully. You're going to be a jack of all trades and master of none. The ones that try to do 2 of them, they lose their rank.
So, because look at the investment that you have to make in people and the time that you have to put into doing it, you're not going to successfully grow. Building a storefront, running side businesses, selling diffuser bracelets, selling raindrops, shelves, design graphics, that doesn't lead to freedom. Your downline leads to freedom. So that's what's going to get you to diamond, guys. That's what's going to get you the residual income in the paycheck, not charging for raindrops. Okay. That doesn't get you to freedom. Putting all your time into personal development and never teaching. It sounds overly simple, but when I look at what we did that got us to diamond, it was script, kit, human, repeat. It literally was that hundreds and hundreds of times. I've taught almost 900 classes now, and we're sitting right outside of Crown Diamond, right outside of it, right? So that's the thing that's going to get you to the rank that you need for the freedom that you're looking for. Tip 9 from Unstuck, and we're almost done. Tip 10 is the last one, is the curse of expectations and surrendering your business. Expectations of what you think this business should be doing can cost you everything. So let me lay out a couple of truths about a Young Living business from somebody deep on the inside, from somebody as a diamond. I'm going to tell you truths. Number one, about 3% of your team will be lost monthly to attrition. That's where they just naturally fall off. They're people that are never going to grasp Young Living. That's normal. But the good news is if you're teaching a class a week, how many people are teaching a class a week right now? If you're teaching a class a week, you're not going to feel it. You won't feel the attrition. All right. Donna says, God just took me out of my comfort zone. It is a necessity that I get serious. That's awesome. Donna, I'm going to gift you the script book, the Euler edition, and the workbook. And I'm also going to gift you a teacher's edition because I want you to get out and start teaching. All right. Download the PowerPoints, get out there and start teaching. Go ahead and tell Bethany what you want. All right. Number 2, on my team, I've got 61 silvers, but only about 30 of them hit rank every single month. Losing rank while preventable is normal. If you lost your rank, go out there and go get it back. Right? Go get it back. If you're a little short on one leg, if you're down on both legs a little, if you're short on OGV, rank map, sit down and look at what you need to do and get out there and go do it. Right? Number 3, yes, there are people that'll go silver in 1 a month from hitting executive, but on my team of 10,000, only 3 people have done it. Silver in 1 is not normal. You look at those diamonds that hit diamond from their starter kit in 10 months. I mean, it took me 2.5 years, and it's been 4 years since I hit diamond, and I'm not a crown yet. Our business is built brick by brick by brick. I don't have a huge pre-existing team. I don't have some big business somewhere. I built by teaching over and over and over and over again. Paychecks will dip and change. If you're teaching a class a week, the overall trend will be up. So it doesn't mean you're not good at this if you've seen your check dip. It just means if you don't like that, go teach classes, right? Teach more classes. In our largest month, we had 9 people hit silver for the first time. Many months, we don't have any people new hit silver. For the most part, we've got slow, steady growth. Steady is normal. That's normal in Young Living. That rocket ship diamond in a year growth is not normal, even among the diamonds. It's not normal. No show classes are normal. I have them as a diamond. Do the work of relationship building and you will have fewer no-show classes. Fewer, right? Not necessarily 0, but fewer. So can I challenge you to put your expectations aside? Because having a goal is smart, but putting a timeline on that goal and telling yourself you're not good at this, if you don't hit your goal, could cost you your business. So I want to pray with you guys. I told you we were going to pray to wrap up, and then I'm going to show you what happened with Gabriel, and then we're done. And thank you for hanging with me all the way to the end of this. I know I went on for a while here today. I had so much I wanted to tell you, but I want to pray a prayer of surrender with you because I really believe that when you surrender your business and you're not doing this over it, but you start doing some of those things that scare you a little bit and start having more consistency and discipline to your business, get out there and do the things that got you your rank in the first place, you're going to see the freight train of your business completely turned around. All right, totally turned around. Kim said, I'm going to invest in my fear and set up my first class. I want to be able to feel comfortable teaching and sharing the products. Kim, I'm going to give you a teacher's edition of the script book so you get out there and start sharing, okay? So write Beverly and tell her you want a teacher's edition. And let's just pray together. I wrote these words because they hit me in my alone time with the Lord. And I thought maybe that they would bless you guys too. It's just a prayer of surrender that I said over my business. They're out of the Unstuck book on page 330. So you guys can pray them over yourselves over and over and over again. Dear Lord, I know that I don't have this all figured out and I'm weary. And I feel like everything I do, I'm running in a creek bed against the current. I feel like all of my actions are in slow motion. Despite my best efforts, my business is moving slowly like a freight train. And God, I'm tired. I realize that the root of the issue is control. And I get discouraged when I don't rank as fast as I see others ranking up. I feel like I can't find business builders who are all in and don't need me to be there. Nobody seems to want to sit in an oils class. And building relationships is hard. Calling people is hard. and calling people, and sometimes they don't answer the phone, and getting people in front of me is hard. I feel like I'm standing in the middle of my business in a great big desert and I'm all alone. I need your wind, God. I ask for forgiveness right now, right here, right now. I ask for forgiveness for my stubbornness, for my standards, for my expectations, for my fear and my anxiety and my doubt. God, I lay that with you, and I'm sorry for the noise. I feel like I don't listen very well. I have a hard time being still to hear you, but I know that you're bigger than any fear that I face, any giant that I face. Help me to remember that I am a David because I have you fighting by my side. This is my year of surrender. I turn my hands up to the sky and I release everything I've been gripping with tight fists. I release my downline. I release my leaders. I release my classes. I release my OGB. I release my business statistics. I release my gifts and my talents and my time and my family and my finances and my health. I release my past. I release my present. I release my future. I release my fear. God, I release it all to you. I release my lack of discipline and my self-control and my consistency. And that means that I hold none of it back for me. It's yours. I am done taking glory that belongs to you. Every good thing that I have, it came from you and you alone. Lord, give me the peace of the sun on my face. Clear the sky so I can be close to you. Be relentless with me, God, and never give up on me. Surrendering means that this business is yours, and it means my life is yours, and it means I don't need to look over my shoulder or get discouraged because you're in every detail. Thank you for never leaving me and for never forsaking me. You are a good, good God, and I can trust you, and I'm slowly learning to release. Thank you for fighting for me. In Jesus' name, amen. I want you guys to remember that prayer forever, because you just took all those emotions and the fear and the doubt and the pain and the frustration, and you put them in a box and you left them at the cross. And now it's over. It's done. Like all those things you're worried about in that little list you're going to make, it's all done. It's behind you. All right. I want you to remember instead that the message is always about meeting the need. And you do that by standing on top of fear, because fear doesn't have any hold on you anymore. You surrendered that part of your business away. It's gone. So now you can move on to helping people. That's why we do this. Education. You're an education driven team, right? Not a sales team, an education driven team. That's what keeps you focused. You keep your why bigger than your fear. When those pangs of why am I doing this creep back in, I want you to remind yourself of why you're fighting every single day. My why, guys, is my kids. My why is my grandkids. My why is their protection. My why is residual income. My why is my son. And I want to show you what happens when you pursue a why, when you fight for it and you don't give up no matter what. You don't give up for anything at all, because you know that they're worth fighting for all the way to the very last drop. So I'm going to share with you the end of Gabe's story. This is what happened after he came home. It's what happened after I hit silver and gold and paid off his school. And in the beginning, you're going to see him not talking. He's about 4 years old. In the middle, you see him at Future Men at the school. And in the end, you see the outcome of where our diamond income led. And I pray that his story is just a huge, huge blessing to you, to remind yourself that your why is worth fighting for, and your kids are worth fighting for, and you are worth fighting for if you don't give up. you. I know it doesn't feel like it when you're in the middle of the storm. It doesn't feel like it when you don't have the strength to walk. It doesn't feel like it when you're in poverty. It doesn't feel like it when you're broken. It doesn't feel like it when Young Living's having customer service and shipping issues, right? It doesn't feel like it when all the things are going on, but I promise you with everything in me that your why is worth the fight. I'm standing on the other side of it, guys, and I promise you that it's worth it. So have you stopped fighting? Do the things that lead to the growth in your business. No distractions. Who's going to leave here and start teaching classes like a mad dog because they're fighting for their kiddos and they're fighting Janice's? Janice, I'm going to send you a script book. Okay. Who else? Go ahead. Tell me. Karen says the presentation's a blessing. Karen Rogers, I'm going to send you an Euler edition script book. Mary says, thanks for sharing your heart. Thank you, Mary. I'm going to send you an Euler edition script book. Who else? Go and put your hands in the air. Tell me if you guys are going to start teaching. Beata. I'm going to send you an Euler edition script book. God bless you guys. I pray that some of this training hit your heart, just that it's worth it to keep going. I know there are days where this business is going to feel like you're building it at a snail's pace. And there's going to be days where it feels like you're going backwards, and you have negative growth. It's okay. That's normal. Okay. Those feelings you feel are normal. You just have to walk it. You got to keep walking through it and keep laying those bricks, because you're going to step back and you're going to have that house of freedom on the other side of it. Young Living is the best decision I ever made for my family. It is the best decision I ever made. And I love you guys so much. I love Elizabeth Rose and Terry so much. And Beverly, she's stuck with me now for life. I appreciate you guys. Do you ever want me to come back and do any training again? Absolutely. I'll come back. I'll share the story of COVID. That one will make you cry too. I am a COVID-19 survivor, but I'm just so grateful for the chance to speak out and pour out. I made a promise to the Lord when John and I hit Diamond that we would not stop developing tools, praying for teams, reaching down and grabbing your hands until every single person that I met that wanted to be a diamond had hit the rank of diamond. So I figure I'm in this for life until the very end. But I know that I believe in you guys. I know that you have the blood of a diamond coursing through your veins. It's just getting you to see it and walk it out. Just walk it out. So you can end this training and you have all that homework and you can shut it off and go do the things that you're going to do today and do the things you're going to do tomorrow. Or you can take a few minutes today and plot out your return. Plot out what this next month is going to look like for you, what teaching is going to look like for you, what people you're going to be contacting. Start making those lists of your warm market. And if you're not even in that place yet where you can even think about that, then do the mindset training I gave you at the beginning on speaking life over yourself, and start speaking that over yourself and praying those good things into your business. God hears you guys. It's not going to fall on deaf ears. All right. He will hear you. Grab your leaders and pray in numbers over the vision you see over your business for this year and the goals that you're going to hit this year, because God works in pandemics. Aslan is on the move and he is not going to leave you now. He will not leave you. All right. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the honor.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. You are such a jewel. What amazing, amazing things you shared with us. There's no price tag for it. I feel like it's totally cool.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Thank you so much. It was great having you here. And thank you, team. We will see you next Wednesday. And this recording will be up in the Royal Dream Team by tomorrow morning, making the commitment. So we'll see you all. Thank you so much, Sarah. And make sure that you email me if you are going to be the recipient of an amazing and generous gift. Make sure that you email it to me, what it is, and your mailing address. That makes it easy for me. Of course, I can always go back through the recording, but it just makes it a lot easier if you just shoot it to me right into my inbox. So thank you so much, everyone.